Hello everyone, welcome back to another video on the Tonville Legend 826 channel. So this is episode number 13 of the PS1 Vlog Series. And in this episode of the PS1 Vlog Series, we're going to talk about my favorite moments from season 3 of The Walking Dead. So The Walking Dead, of course, it's a pretty good show in my opinion. It's heavily awesome show. It's definitely a fan favorite by many people. It's certainly one of my favorite shows for sure. I remember watching the series back in 2016. I had to rewatch all the episodes from the beginning to season 6, and season 7, and it was pretty fun experience. But anyways, my favorite moments from season 3 of The Walking Dead. So we're introduced to Michonne in season 3 of The Walking Dead. Well, technically we're introduced to Michonne in season 2 of The Walking Dead, but we didn't see her face, and she only appeared at the very end of the episode of the last episode of season 2 at the very end. So I don't really know if that counts or not. So anyways, regardless, in season 3 we see Michonne for the first time. We see her in person, and she's introduced to her fighting skills and introduced to her, and she's able to prove herself to be very capable in battle. Let me just go over here. Okay. So anyways, on episode number 13, the PS1 Vlog Series, we're going to talk about my favorite moments of season 3 of The Walking Dead. So, as we all know, Shane has been killed, Dale has been killed, and Andrea escapes with Michonne, and they are in the governor's place, his town, where he has his own town. Woodsbury, I think it was called Woodsbury. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think it was Woodsbury. Yeah. So anyways, the governor has his own town called Woodsbury, and he's controlling the people there, and he has his daughter, who's a zombified version of his daughter because his daughter was killed, and he misses his daughter. He's feeling nostalgic and missing his daughter, and can't get over the fact that he lost her. So therefore he has her walker form in his personal quarters. He hasn't gotten rid of her yet. He still keeps her in his room, so he can't do anything. So he hasn't done anything about her yet. He doesn't want to get rid of her, so he keeps her, the zombified version of her, around, even though it's not really her, it's the walker version of her. So that's obviously why the governor is feeling nostalgic, missing his daughter, which I understand. His daughter is his family, so that makes a lot of sense. But still, it's definitely not good keeping the walker version of his daughter around, because it's not really her, and it's dangerous doing that, keeping it around, would potentially bite other people and be a health hazard and a risk to other people that are within the governor's secret quarters. So season 3 was a pretty good season. We got to see Michonne and Andrea work together at times. Saw Andrea coming back to the group and finding out about Shane and Dale. So yeah, finding out about Shane, and Andrea was supposed to be Rick's wife originally in the comics, but Andrea was Rick's wife in the comics, but in the TV show they changed it so that Andrea dies in season 3. So yeah, Andrea gets killed in season 3, spoiler alert, but the season 3 has been out for 10 years now, so there's really no excuse any longer, more than 10 years, so there's no excuse to say it's a spoiler any longer. So anyway, yeah. So anyways, Andrea dies in season 3 of The Walking Dead. And Lori also dies in season 3 of The Walking Dead, because Lori is pregnant with Shane's baby. Shane is the father. Shane and Lori had a kid together, but Shane died before, the kid was born, and Lori ends up passing away during childbirth, and she ends up giving birth to the child, who they call Judith. Even though Judith is Shane and Lori's daughter, Judith is, Rick is Judith's adopted father, so just something I wanted to address. Yeah, anyways, So yeah, the governor tries to like take control of the people that are Rick and his group. Daryl reunites with his brother Merle. I like watching that fight between Daryl and Merle. And then Rick's group later attack the governor's place so that they can rescue Daryl, and a bunch of Woodsbury people get killed. So yeah. So anyways, let me think. Yeah, so Rick, Daryl, Glenn, you know, they all try to head back to the hideout, but Glenn tells Daryl that Merle is his blood and his family, and Merle actually poses a risk to them because, you know, also T-Dog gets killed in season 3, something to point out, and yeah, and T-Dog was the one that chained Merle up to the roof back in season 1. So season 3 of The Walking Dead, Merle ends up kidnapping, you know, some of Rick's group, Glenn, Maggie, ends up kidnapping Glenn and Maggie. And then, you know, T-Dog tells Glenn that he hopes, T-Dog tells Maggie that he hoped, Merle tells Maggie that he hoped Merle tells Maggie that he hoped T-Dog went out slow, so that was pretty interesting to see. So yeah, Daryl and Merle reunite, and then Daryl tries to talk some sense into Merle and tell him to quit acting so irresponsible and quit acting like so, you know, so ruthlessly, and try to like have some humanity. And Merle eventually decides to come to his senses, and he eventually like allows Michonne to go free. He lets her escape, and then Merle tries to take out the governor, but the governor ends up killing Merle. And Daryl finds out about Merle's death later, and he ends up like being upset about it. So yeah, season 3 of The Walking Dead is pretty good in my opinion. It was very good. I enjoyed it very much. Very entertaining. So yeah, just my thoughts about what happens in season 3 of The Walking Dead with the governor, and Andrea gets killed when trying to like help the group, but the governor kidnaps her, and Andrea eventually gets killed by a walker. So Andrea ends up killing herself, and thus, you know, ends her time on the show. But yeah, season 3 of The Walking Dead is pretty good in my opinion. Very awesome show in my opinion. So yeah, take care everybody. Another episode of the PS1 Vlog Series. Take care everybody. Another video on the Tom Village Ninja 6 channel. Take care everyone. Episode number 13 of the PS1 Vlog Series. Take care everybody.